Hey friends! Today I want to talk about something I see all the time, in myself and in people around me. It's about choices. We live in a world full of options, and sometimes that feels exciting. But the more choices we have, the harder it becomes to stick with one. Think about shopping. Social media is full of influencers showing us the next best thing. You see a bag on Taobao, a skincare product, or a lifestyle trend on Xiaohongshu. You tell yourself, this will finally make my life better. And then 2 weeks later, something new shows up, and suddenly the old thing feels boring. This is the trap of consumerism. We're not just buying things, we're buying the idea of becoming a better me. It's not just shopping. The same thing happens with habits. For example, exercise. You watch 100 workout videos, yoga, HIIT, Pilates, dance workouts. You spend more time comparing them than actually moving your body. Or learning English. People keep asking, which book should I buy? Which app is the best? Which YouTuber should I follow? And they spend months searching, but never stick to one method long enough to see results. Here's the problem. When we keep switching, we never get to the part where progress happens. Every method works, if you give it time. Reading one book for 30 minutes every day is better than buying 10 books and finishing none. Trying one workout 3 times a week for 6 months is better than jumping from trend to trend. Consistency is the real shortcut. Why do we keep searching? Part of it is fear. If I don't find the perfect method, I might waste my effort. Another part is excitement. New things feel motivating for a while. But motivation fades. Habit stays. So instead of chasing the perfect plan, we need to practice sticking to a good enough plan. Let me give you a few real-life examples. A friend of mine wanted to get fit. She kept buying new equipment, resistance bands, dumbbells, a yoga mat, even a treadmill. But she didn't stick to any routine. Finally, she decided to just walk 30 minutes every evening. 6 months later, she looked healthier than ever. Another friend was learning English. She downloaded 5 apps, joined 3 online classes, and bought a grammar book. She got overwhelmed. Later, she picked just one podcast to listen to every morning. A year later, her listening skills had improved a lot. See, it's not about finding the best. It's about sticking to one and giving it time. So, if you're listening today and you've been stuck in the cycle of searching, comparing, and switching, I want to remind you, the fastest way forward is not to find the best method, but to stick with one long enough to see results. Stop splurging on methods. Invest in consistency. That's how you'll finally see change. I used to keep switching methods because I thought the next one would be better. Now I realize it's not about finding the perfect plan, but sticking with one that works for me. I've spent so much time preparing to start instead of actually doing it. Every time I chase something new, I lose the progress I already made. It's okay to start small. What matters is to stay consistent. Motivation fades, but habits stay. Consistency is what turns effort into results. I don't need the best method. I just need one that I'll actually use. I've learned to stop comparing and start committing. Progress happens when you stay, not when you switch. When was the last time you switched methods too quickly?
I get excited easily when I find a new idea or tool. Last year, I tried 3 English apps in 1 month. Each one promised faster progress. But after a while, I realized it wasn't the app that mattered. It was my habit. So I deleted all of them and kept just one. Now I focus on using it every morning, even for 10 minutes.
I started learning with a YouTube channel, but after 2 weeks I stopped because I felt lost. I thought maybe I should find a better teacher or a different method. I spent more time searching than learning. Now I know it wasn't about finding the best. It was about starting again every day, even when I didn't feel ready.
I overthink everything. Before I try a new routine, I read reviews, check blogs, and ask for opinions. I want to make sure I don't waste time. But in the end, I waste even more, doing nothing. Now I try to remind myself that imperfect action is better than waiting for the perfect start.
Are you still searching for the perfect plan? Or are you practicing consistency?
I used to believe there was a perfect method waiting for me. I tried reading books, joining online classes, watching tutorials. But every time something felt hard, I switched again. Now, I've learned to accept that consistency is the real shortcut. It's not exciting, but it's peaceful. I just show up, even when I don't feel motivated.
I still compare a lot. When I see others learn faster, I feel anxious. I ask myself if I'm doing the wrong thing, but I'm trying to stop that voice. I remind myself that speed doesn't matter if I quit halfway. Slow consistency is still better than fast failure.
I realized I used finding the best plan as an excuse not to act. I wanted to feel in control, but that control stopped me from moving forward. Now, I practice showing up for small actions. One podcast, one page, one thought.
What kind of person are you when things stop feeling new?
When the excitement fades, I remind myself why I started. I focus on the feeling of growth, not on how fun it is. Some days feel boring, but I treat them as part of the process. Like brushing my teeth. It's not exciting, but it keeps me healthy.
Once things get routine, I lose interest fast. I tell myself, maybe this isn't for me. Then I start something else, only to repeat the same cycle. Now I'm learning to pause before quitting and ask, am I bored or just uncomfortable with progress?
I try to make learning feel fresh again, maybe by changing the environment, not the goal. If I'm tired of reading, I'll listen to a podcast instead. If I'm bored studying alone, I'll join a study group. The habit stays, only the form changes.